Because they're gonna taste my venom. I got that adrenaline, venom, not knowing when I'm ever gonna slow up and I'm ready to snap any momentum. Thinking it's time to go get 'em. They ain't gonna know what hit 'em.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Wrestling Movie Guy, and guess what? It's after October 6th, 2018, and that means that we need to talk about Venom. Wow, this movie is getting thrashed by the critics right now. I don't know. Most of you may be well aware that it's already, I believe, 28% of Rotten Tomatoes, and it's just getting beat down by the critics. However, I didn't really see it that way. I was kind of shocked at how badly this film was received. Everybody's been saying how, well, not everybody, but a lot of critics have been saying how it's as bad as Fantastic Four and Catwoman, Elektra, a lot of movies like that, which were, terrible. All the Fantastic Four movies among them. But look, first of all, it's nowhere near as much of a train wreck as people think it is. I was sitting in the theater, and as the credits were rolling and it said Sony, I was just sitting there going, please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck. And I'm happy to report, as a pretty strong Venom and overall Spider-Man fan, I enjoyed myself. I thought that it was pretty fun. So I'm going to try to keep this nice and short. Pros and cons. What do we got? Let's start off with the pros. First of all, Tom Hardy is an absolute blast in this movie. He is the reason why you should see this. Even if you're not a big Venom fan, but you're a Tom Hardy fan, I think you're going to dig this. He bounces off himself. Apparently, not only, obviously, he's playing Eddie Brock, but he also did the voice for Venom. So it's not like they just went out and got somebody else and they just dubbed their lines together. No. He's actually bouncing off himself right there. So that right off the bat is a lot of fun. The film, speaking of right off the bat, grabs your attention right away, at least it grabbed mine. I felt that it was like a homage to Alien. The scope of it as the ship is flying into Earth. Oh, by the way, before I go any further, spoilers! Yes, there will be spoilers. This is not a spoiler because this is the beginning. You know an alien ship's going to come to planet Earth. You know that astronauts are going to come back to Earth with the alien symbiote. So if you know Venom, you know that's coming. But anyway, spoiler alert! I love the opening. It got my attention as the ship crashes and you see how the symbiotes, are moving around, how they capture them. We don't actually see how they capture them, but you see that one of them escapes and is making their way back to the Life Foundation. Speaking of the Life Foundation, I may as well get this out of the way. If you are a hardcore Venom fan and you are expecting this movie to really stick to the mythology, I'm afraid that's not going to happen. And you're either going to go with it or you're not. I'm willing to go with something that's different, especially because I already knew that Spider-Man wasn't going to be in this. So yes, they do make changes. There's no protecting a bunch of rich folks by creating Venom. By creating other symbiotes from the spawn of Venom. So all of that is right out the window. The main bad guy, Riz Ahmed, Carlton Drake, is pretty much just convinced that humans in general are useless and weak and poorly designed, and that the symbiote combined with humans will create a whole new range of superhumans, I guess. It's kind of stupid. It's been done. But I actually thought that Carlton Drake was fun to watch on film. I thought that he was a manipulative bastard. I thought that he was a pretty good villain. A lot of people saying that he's stock, and in a way he is. But he was still fun to watch. Just because something is played out doesn't mean it can't be done well. We see a lot of movies that come out these days that are full of cliches you've seen 1,000 times before, but you still enjoy it as long as it's done decently. And I thought Carlton Drake was a pretty decent bad guy. The comedy was very good. A lot of people are saying that it's too superhero-y, that, Venom is not an anti-hero. I disagree with that. I think that the Venom itself is vicious. He's a monster, but he is funny. I don't know. That just works for me. I thought that it was hilarious at points where Venom tells Eddie to bite off a bunch of the Life Foundation's soldiers and henchmen's heads and pile bodies up. I thought that was funny, but in a dark way. A lot of people saying it's too funny, it's too light, but it's so dark that it's funny. That, I don't know. That's the way I see it. But anyway, moving on. I thought the music worked for the most part pretty well. Yeah, towards the end, it was like, whatever, stock superhero music. But I thought that the music, for the most part, worked pretty well. And I really liked the Eminem Venom song. Venom! I liked the end of it. I thought it was a pretty good way to end the credits. Cletus Cassidy. Those of you that may be wondering if he's in this, and I'm pretty sure you know by now that he is. Guess what? Yeah, he does show up at the end. He has a big cameo with even bigger, goofy-looking hair. I don't know what to say about that. The wig looked so bad. Woody Harrelson, we know you're bald, but come on. You guys couldn't get this man a better wig for such an important character in not only the Venom universe, the Spider-Man universe. We've been looking forward to seeing Carnage on the big screen for years. I never thought I'd ever even see this. And Woody Harrelson is going to be perfect as Cassidy. I'm calling it right now if they make a sequel. But that wig, man, I would have donated some of my hair to him if it would have helped. If it would have helped it look better. But I enjoyed his performance, as short as it was, of Cletus Cassidy in the mid-credits scene. Before I move on to the cons, I actually have to say this is a good thing. Venom, as a film, does the best that it can without Spider-Man. They were kind of backed into a corner. It's an impossible movie to make. Kind of in the same way that Watchmen was an impossible film to make because it's a comic book specifically for comic books. It's about the platform, the genre. It's made specifically for that, and it wasn't something that was supposed to be transferred to film. Alan Moore never wanted that. He never wanted it to become a film. It was specifically for the medium of comics, and I feel like they were able to, in a sense, do that with this because how are you going to make a Venom movie without Spider-Man? I mean, hell, look, I'm rocking the shirt. Yeah, there's Spider-Man right there. You see a whole lot of Venom, but where's Spider-Man? How are you going to make a Venom movie without Spider-Man? It can be done. Is it done perfectly? No, it's not done perfectly. And this is where I get to the cons. This movie is clunky. It is clunky. But as far as getting Venom, the character, right, I thought that they did. I definitely thought that they did because Venom has always had a little bit of a cheeky sense of humor. If you go back and read the original comics like Lethal Protector and whatnot, or Maximum Carnage, all of that, he has always had a little bit of a sense of humor. So people getting up in arms about Venom being funny just seems silly to me. I don't understand why people are hating on that. But anyway, let's get to the cons here. That's what you really want to hear, don't you? Let's bash this movie. Let's bash it. I don't really feel that way. But, hey, man, no movie's perfect. And this definitely is not perfect. For one, the CGI is hit or miss at times. I thought that some of the action scenes were very entertaining, such as the motorcycle scene. But when Venom is going up against the SWAT team, which came out of nowhere, like just, boom, SWAT team was there. The fuck? That was fast as hell. I've never seen a SWAT team react so quickly. I thought that scene, it thought that it was exciting. The film thought it was exciting, but it was a little bit of meh, whatever, been there, seen that. The ending overall seemed very rushed, extremely rushed. It was like, oh, damn, we're running out of time. Let's go, go, go. We got to get the hell out of here, and we got to get to Carnage. It definitely felt that way. Again, spoilers. They're sending a rocket up to the comet, I guess, where they caught the symbiotes, however you want to say it. Everybody has their way, like Ryu or Ryu. When they send out when they're sending out the rocket, like it just seems so rushed. All of a sudden, Carlton Drake, who's now has symbiosis with Riot, just kills everybody from out of nowhere because he noticed one dude doing something kind of goofy. Like maybe he was going to stop the countdown of the rocket. But at the same time, the guy that was thinking about stopping the countdown of the rocket just does it randomly. Like, we've never gotten to know this character, and all of a sudden he's just like, something's wrong here. Even though nobody has seen Carlton Drake, with Riot on him in the symbiote suit. Nobody has seen that yet. So why that happens at the end really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The fight overall was okay. I didn't hate it, but there were times where it was difficult to see what was going on because the CGI was everywhere and the movie's got a lot of shaky going on and the bodies are flying everywhere. But it didn't break the movie for me, but I will say I was pretty critical of that. And one thing that most people have been talking about is Michelle Williams and how she was completely underutilized in this movie. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Michelle Williams fan. To be honest, I don't really know her from anything, but I thought that she was relatively useless. She had some moments, though. Spoiler alert again, she's She-Venom for a few minutes, which was pretty cool. And actually, she is helpful at the end. She is able to turn up the audio or whatever it was on the speaker as Venom is fighting Riot, and is able to separate Riot from what's his face from the bad guy. She was kind of useful there, but for the most part, yeah, she's just there. Her chemistry with Tom Hardy is not that great. Sometimes it is. I actually thought that the scene where Hardy is apologizing to her for all of his screw-ups in the past was actually a fairly touching scene. But I attribute that more to Venom being in the head of Eddie Brock to push him to talk to her in case they should die. Yeah, sure, they're going to die. Yeah, right. Is there anything else that I could think of? You know what? There is one other thing before I move on with my final thoughts. I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see any bit of the homeworld, not even a flashback of Venom's homeworld. Because at one point he mentions to Eddie that he's a bit of a loser on his world, as Eddie is. And that dynamic, though rushed, I thought was good to bring those two characters together. Again, I think that they got Venom and Eddie Brock both right. Eddie Brock not so much because he's supposed to be a lot bigger and tougher and he's kind of a dick. But overall, I thought that as far as like when Eddie Brock and Venom are together, they are Venom. As far as Eddie being really true to the original run in the comics, yeah, definitely not. But still, enjoyable. Anyway, end thoughts. I walked out of this movie with a smile on my face. I enjoyed it. I most certainly did not hate it. I most certainly didn't think that it was anywhere near the bottom of the barrel as far as comic book movies go. It's not as good as Iron Man, or Wonder Woman, or X-Men, or dare I say it, Batman vs. Superman, because I love that movie. I enjoyed it. But anyway, that's for another time. But it's entertaining as hell. This movie is freaking entertaining as hell. It's got good pace, and it's miles above Catwoman, Fantastic Four, and Suicide Squad. If you can go along with the odd performance by Tom Hardy, you're going to enjoy this film. But if you're not going with him, and you really, really are a hardcore Venom fan, and you really want to see him stick to the pages, you're probably going to give it a thumbs down, unfortunately. But much like Batman vs. Superman, this movie is going to have a huge, vast range of opinions. It's going to be all over the map. People are going to hate her. They're going to love her. They're going to love hit her. They're going to think it's, hot garbage that they enjoy, or they're going to just think it's garbage that they hate. But, maybe that's a good thing. Because at the end of the day, when you have a product or a film or a book that has so many different opinions, that's not really a bad thing, Sometimes it's better to have a movie or a piece of art that can be viewed in many different ways than one simple yay or nay. But anyway, guys, I'm going to give it about a 6, at max a 7 out of 10. And that's probably a bit high, but I know it's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? Anyway, guys, I leave it up to you guys to decide whether or not you enjoyed the film. Hopefully, maybe I got you to go out and pay a few bucks to go see it. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know. If you hated it, let me know. And this is the Wrestling Movie Guy signing off. I will catch you guys later.